Oh, gotta click, got it. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Posture Alignment with Kimberly. This is a hybrid class, so some of you, if she's talking to someone, they might be in the room. Today is Monday, May 9th, and approximately 11 a.m. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. All right. Since I figured I would have some people who were new, I brought my old school stuff. So I'm just going to bring you up to speed really quickly about what posture is. I'm going to bring this picture up close. I'm sure everybody knows this. Hi, I'm Kim, but this is not me. So I'm going to bring this over to you guys. You guys have seen this one, right? Okay. In a perfect world, that's where our posture is supposed to line up, right? So this is where we're supposed to be, designed to be. When our body gets out of this alignment, it tends to start talking to us and tell us, hey, something's wrong, gives us some signs by giving us some pain, some discomfort. Then after a while, if the body can't get itself back to that neutral place, it'll hold itself in that place. And then your compensations turn into a dysfunction where the body can't get itself back. So the great thing is that corrective exercise can help that because nobody took those muscles out of you. They're still there. So we're going to do some stuff to stimulate your body today, and we're going to get your body to wake itself up, because this isn't something where I beat your body up and say, hey, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Nope, we want to listen to your body. So the most important thing for everybody to remember is that I don't live in your body. So if something hurts, something doesn't feel right, stop the exercise. I'll give you as many modifications as I can, but if something doesn't feel right, it's between you and you. So stop. I don't know you. You know you best. Make sense? Great. Okay. I think we're going to start out with a static back. If everybody's okay getting on the floor, we're going to start out there. So roll out your mat and put it out so that it's in front of your chair. I know you guys at home know what the heck I'm talking about because you've been with me for a really long time. But we're going to roll out the mat. And what we want to do is trap the body at a 90-degree angle. You're okay getting on the floor? Yep. Okay, fantastic. So good. Love to hear it. All right. So we're going to lay down for 5 minutes in what we call static back. It's a good one. It's an easy one. What you want to do is trap the body at 90 degrees. Excellent. You guys know it. I'm going to set the timer. Thanks, Rob. I'm going to set the timer, and we're going to go for 5 minutes. So again, think about those 90-degree angles, everybody. We're laying down on the back, on the floor. Worst comes to worst, if you can't get on the floor and do this, you can sit in a chair and trap the body at 90 degrees. So I'm just going to show you guys. This is our static back. That's it. So I'm trying to keep my knees over my hips, trying to keep my ankles in line horizontally with my knees, stack up pillows, all sorts of stuff to help you guys out with that. Looking good. Looking good over there. Good. How do you feel? You okay? Have you done this before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fabulous.
I don't remember it though. I mean,
Fantastic.
after having me do it, I remember it.
Fantastic.
Where are the arms?
Good question. So we had a question where the arms go. They go at 45 degrees, best you can, from your hips. So if you guys have never done this before, there's a great test. If you bring your arms alongside of your body while you're laying down on the floor, you'll notice a change in your shoulders. And now as you bring your arms out to the sides, you'll notice your shoulders begin to change. So we want to find that middle point where the shoulders can actually rest themselves back and down in the floor without you really thinking about it. Sometimes the arms have to come out to a T for that, but not too often. For anybody that's new doing this, I want you to think about, what does my body feel like where it contacts the floor? Are both sides of my lower back on the floor? Does one shoulder feel different than the other? Maybe one hip feels like it's off of the floor. Maybe one butt cheek feels different. And these are really rhetorical questions, the questions that you need to feel for. And we're just going to notice over the 5 minutes what changes. Nice, everybody. We have a couple of minutes left. These chairs are a pretty good height for most people, but not for everybody. If something doesn't feel right, please feel free to let me know. Of course, that's out to you guys on the floor. Everybody else is muted.
I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
a side benefit of this is that we're forced into belly breathing.
Hmm.
Which in some yogic practices is preferable to
Mhm.
chest breathing.
Good point. So one of the students just mentioned that she's noticing being trapped in this position is forcing or encouraging the body to go into belly breathing, and how that is preferable in many yogic practices. That's an excellent point. When we do this style of posture, what was it, posture modification? Yeah, we'll take it, posture modification. When we do this, even belly breathing is not necessarily the direction that we want to go. We want it to be diaphragmatic breathing. So for many people, belly breathing is a step in the right direction as opposed to breathing with your shoulders or breathing with your back. There's a lot of shoulder breathers out there. But when you lay on your back, your belly is the path of least resistance. So it will rise and fall and rise and fall. Now you can use your abdomen to breathe, but you can also use your diaphragm to breathe, which is a little different. And I think maybe next class or a few classes after this, I'll go through a breathing restorative sequence, and you'll be able to feel the difference between belly breathing and diaphragmatic breathing. And you might actually get out of breath from it. I usually do, because my diaphragm isn't 100% active, just like yours. So that's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Everybody feel okay in this position? Feel good? I got a thumbs up over there. You guys okay doing some work from this position? Great, great. Okay, guys, we're going to do some work from the static back position. Of course, I'm going to take you into the arms and shoulders since we do have the body trapped for a while here. We're going to add on. So we're going to go into real easy ones. They're called pullovers. Marie, how's your arm? Pullovers okay?
Very minimal.
Very minimally. Would you rather do something like reverse presses or even shoulder shrugs, or just keep laying there? Okay, that's your choice. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you pullovers, and then I'm going to give you a couple of modifications if your shoulder's bothering you today, if you can't do it. So we're just going to reach your hands up to the sky, interlace your hands. I'm going to move that chair, Carol, so you can see me better. Interlace your palms together, palms, your fingers. Keep the elbows nice and straight. And you're going to drop the arms backwards overhead towards the floor and bring them right back over your chest. So back and forth movements, but you want to keep your elbows straight. And again, this is not a movement for everybody. I remember when my shoulder was all messed up, I could not do this movement. Could not do this movement. So if this is bothering you and you can't do this movement, you're laying on the floor in the static back, even if you're sitting in a chair, you can bring your arms to the sides just like we were before, 45 degrees, and you can squeeze your shoulder blades together. So it's almost like pressing your whole arm into the floor over and over in a reverse press. That's what it's called. I'm just going to keep the arms in this position. So it's just a squeeze over and over and over again. I'm going to stay here for a couple of minutes. Just keep going through this motion or go through your modified motion. Good. The reason why I had you bring your arms out to 45 degrees to do those reverse presses is because it's going to stop your neck and your upper trapezius from overcompensating. That squeezing motion of bringing your shoulders back and down, whether you're sitting in a chair or into the floor, should be felt right between the shoulder blades. And you want it to be a light squeeze too. So don't squeeze so hard that your back is lifting up off of the floor. A light squeeze over and over. Everybody else, you're doing pullovers, looking great. Oh, we got a floor touch. Fantastic. You'll find a lot of these exercises I give you are in certain sets with certain repetitions, because over the years of doing this, all the therapists have realized it takes a certain amount of reps, certain amount of time in order for most bodies to change. And that's what we're looking for. We want the body to do some change. Forgot to tell you guys what types of props we'll be using today. This is new, doing the hybrid class, and my mind is here and also on the video, so please forgive me. We will be using some blocks and pillows today, either or, and we're also going to be using a strap. You're right over there, Marie? You good? Okay. Yep, just do what you can. Or even just laying there is fine. Like I was saying before, when my mom came to class, her shoulder is so off, static back hurt her. And she was in severe pain from static back. So it's not a pretty place to get to. But once she bit the bullet and just got into it, her posture did start changing. But that was a very painful place for her to be. So I had to put a pillow and blocks underneath her head, underneath her shoulder, because her shoulder did not want to move. I don't want you guys to get to that position. Sorry, Mom, threw you right under the bus, but it's important. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to some leg stuff. I'm going to come over and hand you your block so you don't have to get up. So we're going to stay in the static back position. Carol, I'm just going to give you a block. You okay if I put it between your legs?
Yep.
Cool. Remember this one? Okay. All right, I'm going to give you a block as well, madame. Is this okay? Yep. Fantastic. And Marie, she's all good. All right, put that static back to work. We're going to put the block right between the legs. We're doing static back knee pillow squeezes. That's it. It sounds so basic. So you're putting that pillow in between your knees. Yes, you can get this done sitting in a chair. But we're doing this in static back position. So over and over, we're applying pressure to this block over and over. It's like inner thigh squeezes. It's where you should be feeling it. However, most of us, especially if we're in severe compensation, we're not going to be feeling it there. We might not be feeling it anywhere. Don't worry. While we're hanging out here doing this work, it will move itself to where it has to be. So just hang out there and just keep squeezing over and over. Hello, welcome. Hi, it's all right, it's all right. I'm glad you're here. I'd rather you guys come late than never. Oh, totally fine. Okay.
I'm Fariba's sister-in-law.
Fantastic. All right, welcome. Cool. Yep, you got it. You're going to lay down on your back just like everyone else is, if that's okay. Oh, fantastic. You can. And I'm going to hand you a block. Depending on how long your legs are, we might turn this way so that your feet can go there. We'll see where we're at. Okay, wonderful. Looking good. You look comfy there. I'm going to put this right between your legs and just apply gentle pressure over and over. Squeeze, release. That's it. Let everything else relax. Remember, guys, I used that word gentle. I don't want you to kill it. We don't want to kill it here. 50% pressure at the very most. At the very most. Static back, knee pillow squeezes. That's what it's called. Goodness. Squeeze, release over and over. Now, hopefully, while you're doing this, you're starting to feel the section in your body isolating and doing the work. Where does everybody feel that? In the groin? Yep. Do you feel both sides of your groin? Yes. Okay. So we got a student out there. She says she feels in the groin, both sides of her groin. That's where we want the work to be felt. In fact, when you start doing this, that's immediately where it should be felt. But for most of us, it's not. It takes a while for it to get there. How many of you feel it in your inner thighs? Right, in inner thighs, but it's not quite in the groin. We can, if we wanted to, wait here and just keep on squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until it finally moved its way to the right muscles. That's not going to kill you if you move on just because you feel it in your inner thighs. That's okay. You doing okay out there, Carol? Good. I'm going to up the ante here, guys. We're going to turn this into pullbacks. You might hate me, but you need a challenge. So pullbacks. It's different than pullovers. We're just going to work with the legs now. This is going to be a little intense. If it's too intense, don't do it. Just keep doing the knee pillow squeezes. So here's how it goes. You put a little pressure on the block, just enough so you don't drop it. That's all it is. And you're going to pull your knees back till they come off of the chair. It's just an inch or two. And now extend your knees and put your footprints on the ceiling. And then replace your legs right where you started. Pull back, extend up, and back where you started. The part that you want to pay attention to is trying to keep your feet and knees and ankles in this nice straight line. The block is trying to help do that, or the pillow if you have it at home. It's trying to help do that. So I want you to use your eyes and take a peek at your feet. It's not like I see any of you doing this at all, but one of my clients does this over and over, and she doesn't stop, or didn't stop. Her ankles keep touching because she doesn't have the strength in order to hold them apart. So you want to keep everything in that same line if you can while you're doing this exercise. Pull back, extend the knees, flex the knees, and place the legs right back on the chair. Worst comes to worst, if you notice, wow, my ankles keep wanting to touch, my knees keep wanting to go out, you can put another pillow between your ankles. You can put a strap around your ankles and push out on your ankles at the same time. Those of you that aren't doing this laying down on the floor, this is going to be hard, of course, because you're pulling your legs up towards your chest, extending the legs out and back down. You got a harder time of it, but you can deal with it. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming, class. Interesting, right? I'm going to give you another block for your feet.
Okay.
Hang on to that. That's going to stop your feet from diving in. It's going to feel really different. Might even be harder. A lot harder. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So the point of all of these moves and using all of these easy devices are to try and trap the body from not deviating. And by doing that, we're kind of forcing the body to stimulate itself in a new way. Very nice, Carol. Looking good. Good, and these are pullbacks. I'll give you about 30 more seconds doing these pullbacks, and then we're going to try a little bit of a functional test again and see if you guys can remember what you felt like when you first laid down in static back. I'm going to feel into the body and see, what's different? What changed? Okay, we're going back to our resting static back. You could take the blocks out, remove, and just come back to that first position I asked you guys to come into. Anytime we come back to any position, you could always use it as a functional test. So we're always trying to feel, what changed? What's different? Even when you stand up and you go to wash the dishes, what changed? What's different? Now we did all that work. What changed? What's different? Anybody have any input?
For me, I've been walking, like I walk 6 to 8 miles a day. That's all I can really do because I have some health issues.
Okay.
But just using my legs a different way is just really weird. It's like they're doing something that's totally different. I feel it.
Good words.
Yeah.
Good words. So one of the students was saying that it just feels very weird using her body in a new way. It's totally different.
I feel less pressure on my lower back than I did when I first went down.
Gotcha.
That's the same for me.
So both of you, less pressure on your lower back than when you first did when you laid down. So good.
And I feel like the back is flatter. Like there's a little arch in the back,
Mhm.
and I feel like sometimes when I lay this way, it doesn't make quite the connection to the mat.
Yes. Yes.
And I feel now, I feel that connection. I didn't.
Yes. Good point. Okay, everybody, I'm going to have you get up. We're going to do some work in the seated position next. Bring your strap with you. If you don't have a strap, I got one for you. So what she was saying is that now she feels like her back is making more connection to the ground. She felt like her back was lifted up off of the ground. And as many of you know, static back, when you get into that position, we're in such a flex point at the hips, your lower back is supposed to be on the ground. For people who have an anterior tilt and who are kind of stuck here, that lower back ain't gonna hit the ground. So we need to remind the body how to get there. Here's a strap for you, my dear.
Yeah, I'll bring one next time.
Oh, that's all right. I've got plenty for everybody. I bring plenty of stuff. Does anyone else out there in the audience need a strap? Everybody good? Cool. All right, we're gonna do some seated work now. And you're gonna take the strap, we're gonna put it around the legs. Probably should have done a blue one because it's a little hard to see. I think everybody at home gets it. Put it on like a dress. And we're gonna do some abductor presses. And then we're gonna add on to that. So it's gonna be a little bit challenging, but you deserve it. You deserve that challenge. Of course, I gave you all my colored ones. Okay. Everybody okay? Good question. How tight do we make this sucker? We're gonna make it as tight as we can while keeping the knees in the same distance away from each other as our hips. So it's about a fist distance. When we do work like this, we want to think about hip distance because we're trying to retrain the muscles in the legs, the feet, the back, and the shoulders, trying to make it remember what hip distance is and how to load itself in hip distance. So we're talking about the length of a dollar bill between here and here. That's the center of our hip joint. Straight down should be the center, I should go a little tighter, the center of our knees and the center of our ankles. So that's what I mean when I say hip distance. Make sense? Fantastic. Now I'm going to turn to the side. So I'm going to show you what sitting in extension is. Now, a lot of us think that when we get into extension, we go into spinal extension. And that's a big cheat for a lot of us whose hips kind of stopped working. So I want that extension to come from the pelvis, actually from that groin spot that you were talking about that you felt earlier. So I start in a slouch and I roll a little arch into my lower back, but I do it from my hips. Notice it did change the position of my shoulders and my head, but I didn't do this. Right? I didn't move my spine or lift my sternum to do it. I actually used my pelvis to do it. So I rolled my pelvis forward. There we go. That is sitting in pelvic extension. That's what I want you to do for this move. And now push out on the strap repeatedly, over and over. Push out and release. Push out and release while we sit in extension. That's the move. Very good. So after a while of sitting in this move, we kind of, and I do too, we have that tendency to start flip-flopping, and instead of the hips doing that extension, my back starts doing it as the hips start shutting down again. You might notice that your body starts doing that as it starts to get tired. So if you notice that, just kind of reset, get it from the hips again, and continue. Happens to me all the time because my hips are messed up just like everybody else's. And do the same stupid stuff. I sit for long periods of time. I don't work when I'm supposed to. Happens all the time. But I want you guys to notice these things and then make adjustments for it. Now, we've been doing this for a good maybe minute and a half. I want you guys to tell me where you feel it. Okay, we got on the sides, almost in like the hamstring area. Interesting, and she feels it inside. Anything? On the outside, more in this area. How about you? Mm-hmm. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. That's right. Okay, so just like I told you, we're going to sit in extension. So start from your slouch. And if anybody feels like, oh, I'm starting to use my back, get back into the slouch and put a little arch into your lower back from your hip. So you're going to roll that forward. Stop. Hold. Push out on the strap and release. Push out and release over and over. Now she's got it. Keep going. Don't stop.
So how many times do you keep on doing this and then you're slouching, you go back and you just keep on sitting there?
So the question was, how many times do you do this? Do you feel like you're slouching and then you just keep on going back? Usually it's 3 sets of 20, but I'm actually listening to the feedback from every one of your bodies so I can tell how much more you need or how much less you need, because everybody's different. It's not going to kill you to burn those muscles once you finally feel them. We're actually going after the glutes, believe it or not.
That's why I felt it first.
Okay. Out of breath, right? Out of breath. This is tough stuff. So she was saying she actually felt it there at first, but then it seems to have flip-flopped and gone away. That's all right. Here's a Band-Aid for that. And we're not going to stay here too much longer, but a Band-Aid for that is opening up the strap just a little bit more and sit yourself in that position and keep on going. But it might be that you need to do this for another day or so in order to feel it in the glutes. I don't have all the time in the world. Your fist is very, very small. Remember when I was talking about the dollar bill. So you want it to be about that length. Yes. Good. Keep on going. Push out and relax.
I think I did a long distance.
Fair enough. Just fine. I'm going to up the ante in a moment, everybody. You're probably really going to hate me because we're going to keep on this move and we're going to add on to this move. So we're going to add heel raises to this move. Now, the heel raises are really going to focus on the hip. Now, you can do a heel raise and lift the heels over and over and work your gastrocnemius calf area. But what I want you to think about is keeping your toes on something sharp or painful. That way, you'll stay light on your toes and you'll move this work to the hips. See, ultimately, this is what I'd like you to be able to do. But I'm going to give you a little Band-Aid by allowing you to keep the toes on the floor. Does that make sense? Okay. So I don't want this to turn out to be a calf exercise. I really do want it to end up forcing its way into the hips. Bad word, force. But the only way to do that is to think, don't be heavy on my toes. So start to think about the hips doing the work, almost like you have marionette strings and you're lifting your knees up, something like that. So I'm going to keep the toes on the floor as a little bit of a Band-Aid. Heels raise and lower. As you're pushing out, yes. But don't push out like a monster. We just want to keep some pressure on there so that both hips are staying active and balanced. That's all. Not pushing out like a monster, but this thing isn't going flopping like this either. We want to keep a little pressure. So now we should be working glute as well as hip flexor, because you're not keeping your toes on the ground. Keep your toes on the ground. Keep your toes on the ground and keep going for the lift over and over. That's it. And double check. Am I starting to do one of these? Oh, trying too hard. Remember, keep that coming from the pelvis. Just a little roll in your lower back while you do this. I'm going to stay here for another maybe 30 seconds or so. Everybody feel something? I'm going to up the ante for the last time, and then we'll go do some easier stuff. We're going to do sit to stand with the strap. Usually we do it with the block. Today, we're going to do it with the strap. So everybody, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. Might not work for you because I don't want your shoulder to kick. So we interlace the hands behind the head and draw the elbows back and down. So the point of that is to keep the shoulder blades doing this on your back. If hands behind the head is not something for you, put your hands on your shoulders and do that. I don't even care if you put your hands on your hips, but I want your shoulders to stay back and down while you do the move. Sit to stand is just like it sounds. You're going to sit, you're going to stand. Keep your feet in the same place. And the point of this is to teach yourself to not turn around and have to use your hands to grab hold of the seat. We want to become more hip driven. Hip driven. Your feet have a tendency to go much better, much better. There you go. Give that a shot. Up and down. So we want to keep what we call thoracic extension. Thoracic is the upper part of the body. We want to keep that extended. So keep drawing your shoulders back and down while you do this. It's a tough part. And like I said, you don't have to do this with the strap. We usually do this with a block in between the knees. You can do that too. Walk your right foot in about an inch. There you go. Continue. We've got 150 more. I'm totally serious, but you're going to do it, not me. So what do I care? Good. I'm going to take the strap off now, everybody. I'm going to take you back down to the floor. We're going to do some deeper stretch, but work stretches. How about we do a little bit? Huh? You can do, please, by all means, if this feels great, continue. She's going to do 150 for us, everyone.
You know what? I'm such good students. You tell me to do, I'll do.
And you did, and you're doing great. You're doing fabulous. All right, I'm going to take you guys down to the floor. We're going to do some more hip work down there. And we might do some shoulder work as well. And then we'll do some stuff against the wall. It's going to be interesting. I am going to take my beautiful shoes off. As much as I love them. Okay, we're going to do hip crossover stretch. And then we're going to add on to that. So it's going to get harder, but we're going to keep it on the floor while we do it. Hip crossover stretch is a really easy sounding, easy looking stretch, but I want you guys to really pay attention to your form when you do it. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, so you're good to go. So I start laying on my back. I'm going to bring my arms out to a T with my palms face down. Knees are bent to start out with. I want you to think about keeping your feet in line with your hips, just like we did when we were sitting in the chair. And you can do this if you're sitting in a chair too. We're just going to twist. I'll modify later. I'm going to cross the left ankle to the right knee, but don't slide your feet. Left ankle to right knee. Make sure your feet still stay where you put them. No block needed, but I like how you're using that. But I like how you're using that to help measure. So one of my students is doing an excellent thing that might be helpful for you guys at home. I love how I learn. She's always using her block to measure out the distance between her joints. There is no block needed for this, but I love that she's doing that. Good job. Crossing left ankle to right knee. Now you're going to twist through your lower back so the legs are going to fall to the right, but I don't want you to let the foot slide. Your foot must not slide. When it slides, it's called cheating. Try to go palms down if you can. And this is the move. I'm doing my best to point my left knee towards the sky, so I'm getting an outward rotation from my hip. That should be the glutes turning on to do that work. The glutes that we were just trying to wake up before, they should be doing this work and might have an easier time of it because of the work we just did. Maybe, maybe not. Everybody's different. So this is our hip crossover stretch. Okay, cramping, fantastic. Everybody hates it when I love cramps. Even when I get my own cramps, I love the cramps because welcome to muscles that don't work. It's not a stretch per se. I want you to draw your left knee towards me. Keep outwardly rotating so that your knee points to the ceiling. Now try to get your foot and your knee on the floor at the same time. Keep on reaching. That's this move. You okay, Carol? Hip all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you draw your left knee towards me in an outward rotation? Coming, coming, coming. Oh, it's all right. You're doing great. This direction. Yes. So from the hip, we're rotating out. That's going to help the glute turn on. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Is this side supposed to be on the floor?
No. As you twist, it's lifting completely off the floor. Looking good. Looking good. I'm going to turn your foot though. Don't try to work so hard with the foot. This all should be coming from the hip. Draw the knee away. Good. That's the move. Looking good over there, Marie. You look fabulous. Everybody. Yes, it's a good one. I could tell. Everybody ready to switch to the other side? Okay, come on through. Remember, start out nice and clean. And again, I love how you did it with that block. She keeps putting the block right between her knees and her feet so she can measure where she's at. Your right ankle crosses to your left knee. Try to keep the arms out to a T, palms down if you can. There's a lot of shoulder work going on here, and twist. Go ahead and twist. This move is hip crossover stretch. the leg that's on top. You want to point that knee towards the sky. So if you notice, there's an outward rotation happening in your hip. Do those words now make a little more sense to you, Carol? Good. And as we outwardly rotate from the hip, it's turning on the muscles of the glutes. It's the same direction that we were doing when we were pushing on the strap. Abduction coming away from your midline, and outward rotation also coming away from that midline area. So we're trying to turn on the glutes. Same time. Beautiful, Maria. Cramps went away, yes? Okay, good. Usually that's the case. So if any of you guys at home are noticing, oh my goodness, my feet are cramping or my calf is cramping, have no fear. If it's happening while we're doing this corrective exercise, it's waking up muscles in a new way, a new pattern. So don't fear it. You can come out, rub it down, come back in. It will go away as the muscles remember, okay, I'm supposed to do this job. That's what's happening in the body. If it's a cramp you always have and you're coming to this class to try and alleviate the cramps, well, then that's a different story. Could be overworking muscles that are tired of working, and that makes sense to me. Okay, guys, take a few more breaths. Looking good. In a perfect world, the sole of your foot is going to hit the floor at the same time, just like you got, at the same time as your knee lays on the floor. In a perfect world. But you want to try to keep that form as your body falls in. Good. Okay, come back to center. We're going to up the ante. I want you guys to bring your arms to where they were when we started, in that 45-degree angle, nice and relaxed. No arms are going to be involved in this one. We're going to go back to the original crossover, left ankle to right knee, and we're going to turn this into a hip lift. Hooray! This one's tough. Now, we got the ankle to the knee. I want you to pretend like your right leg is going into static back. So I'm pulling my right knee in towards my chest, and that right leg is hanging out in the air. See that, Carol? This one's going to be tough. So we're doing this. No arms. Now, some of you might have a hard time doing this. That's okay. If you do, you could pick your leg up, take a second, put it back down and rest. We're hanging out here for a whole minute. Same time that your knee draws in towards your chest, I also want your left knee to draw away from you. So there's this push-pull going on. Yes, you're going to feel your back. Yes, you're going to feel your abs. Yes, you're going to feel your hip. Hopefully, that's what we're going for. This is a hip-driven motion. And we got 30 seconds. If you need that break, take it. And can you do this sitting in a chair? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're just crossing your ankle over, sitting in your chair. 15 seconds. Hanging tough, everybody. Some of my clients who have a hard time doing this, I let them leave the other foot on the floor and just kind of do heel toe exercises with that foot on the floor, or just pick it up for a couple seconds and put it back. It's okay. We're going to switch to the other side. Come on down, everybody. Right ankle to left knee. That's the next one, right? I think so. All right, when you're ready, pick her up. In a perfect world, we're also going to stay in the same position that we started at with our feet on the floor, meaning we're not going to contort our hips and our spine in order to get this position accomplished. So if you notice you're twisting your whole body to get it done, probably in a whole lot of compensation and the right muscles aren't turning on. It's not going to kill you, but if I were there in person, I might make a few adjustments to help you reach the correct muscles. Hence, get your butt to my class. Where is everybody? That's what I'd like to know. I saw you all in Walmart the other day. I saw you in King Cullen the other day. We said hi, we had a hug, we had a few drinks. Where are you? 3, 2, 1, done. Nice. I'm going to have you guys do cats and dogs now. You can either roll over onto hands and knees, or you can do this in a chair. You can even do pelvic tilts if you feel really, really lazy and you want to stay down. But I'm going to do cats and dogs on hands and knees. Welcome back. Don't try to get up too fast. Sometimes that blood can do funny things to your head. So cats and dogs. You can do this sitting in a chair. You don't have to do this on hands and knees. I'm showing you how to do it on fists because some of you might have some wrist problems as of yet. You want to keep your hands underneath your shoulders and you want to keep your knees right underneath your hips. I do cats and dogs. It's not quite yoga. I just want you to breathe. So if you really enjoy doing yoga and keeping your exhale in a certain place, go for it. This is a different style. Nice, Carol. I like how smooth and focused you are. Marie, looking good. Beautiful. Very nice. I'm seeing a few of you really stuck in the upper shoulders. Yeah, good one, Marie. I knew my words would help clean that up. Right here, drop in. That's it. Keep your elbows straight though. That is your dog. Beautiful. Okay, what I'm catching out of you, and it's not a bad thing, I see it often, instead of going into protraction, you're going elevation and your shoulders are kind of coming towards your ears. So try to keep your shoulders away from the ears. We want this motion to happen in the back. And it's tough. It's tough to do. So I'm just going to demonstrate that in front of everybody on the camera here. What I was catching, and it happened to me too, but I had to teach myself not to do it anymore as the muscles woke up. Upper back stays stuck and there's a lot of this. You see how there's really not a whole lot of movement in my shoulders? There should be protraction, retraction in the shoulders throughout this motion. And it's tough to get, but sometimes people elevate and they hug the shoulders towards their ears as a compensation. And it's not something they do on purpose. It's all right. You will get it as the body starts to retrain itself. You guys did very well. Good. Let's stand up, looking smooth, looking beautiful. We'll do some standing exercises. We've got good big flat walls and it's not on some hill. If you want, you guys can come up front. I'll actually turn this if you need extra space, but there's wall space there. There's wall space. I don't know if we can move that. And oh, there's even wall space over here. Interesting. Good, good. Oh, it does. It's got a ledge. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the ledge. You guys can come up here so you don't have to go on camera. Cover this up, turn it this way, and I'm gonna do my work over here. And you guys can come up here. Fantastic. Let's go around that way to avoid the camera, and they'll get to watch me over here. Fantastic. Okay. Flat, flat, flat. Good. We could get at least 3 up there. If I were, yes, we want a flat wall. We're going to do windmill. We're going to do windmill. For you, should be able to fit 4 up there. You guys okay with that? Let me move this out of the way.
I'm probably not gonna have my arms fully.
Oh, this does move. It does move. Fantastic. Okay, we've got some room. All right, good. Carol, I think you know this one. I think you'd be able to do this even if you wanted to stand here, you'd be all right. Good. All right, standing windmill. Standing windmill looks like this. You're going to bring your heels to the wall. Make sure your feet are hip distance. We're going to bring the arms out to a T. If that bothers your shoulders, you could always bring them lower, lower, even have your hands on your hips. Arms out to a T best you can. And we're only going to move through the waist. So it's a back and forth movement. Keep your heels on the floor. We're only going to move through the waist. So I don't want your heels to end up doing something like this. And I don't want your butt to slide back and forth. I want to keep the butt glued. Back and forth. Standing windmill. Fantastic. Sehr gut. Beautiful, as always. Shoulders okay? Beautiful. Everybody who's got a wall, you want to think about keeping your thumb and your pinky against it. We're grazing it. When I did this at home, I didn't have a flat wall to go to, so I just imagined. Now we're going to stance the feet out wider. We're going to do about 1.5 feet to 2 feet wide, but keep the feet parallel. Same thing, back and forth. Butt stays glued. Arms tired?
Yeah, I was starting to feel something in between my shoulders. And
Mhm.
I thought maybe that's the
Dance the legs out even wider, everybody. We're going about 3 feet wide. Think like a cheerleader. Let's stay in control. Feet parallel. Bring your left toes in an inch. Perfect. Beautiful, Marie. Nice. Good. You want to feel a good stretch as you lean over left and right. Let's see, right hip's pretty stuck on that one side and it stops your body from going over as far. Do you feel that, like tightness on that right side? Yeah.
right or left.
On your right. One side is always going to feel different than the other. We all have that going on.
You feel the inner thigh stretching?
Of course you're going to feel that. Most certainly. Everybody else feel that? Inner thigh stretching? Legs back to the beginning position, please. We're coming back to 1.5 feet, hip distance. And now since we started here, we can use this as a functional test and see what changed. Back and forth. On wall. There you go. We're using the wall to keep ourselves flat and straight and stopping our body from doing any type of rotation. That's the point of the wall. Good. Oh, I don't want to murder you guys too bad. What can I give you? I don't want to give you air bench. I really don't want to because I hate air bench. How many of you like air bench?
What's an air bench?
She likes air bench.
What is an air bench?
We're going to do air bench. Thanks, Marie. We're going to do air bench, everybody. We're going to do an air bench. Okay, air bench it's basically sitting in an imaginary chair against the wall. So you're going to, oh, she loves it too. Okay, we got 2 against 2. Sorry, you guys. So, but what I want you to do is think about it in a different way. So we're going to use this as a means of forcing both of the femur heads to knock themselves into the hip joints and push the body straight using strength, which is actually going to hold all of the work that we just did, hold it together and keep it for you, hopefully throughout the rest of the day, maybe for the next couple of days. So when you put your back against the wall, it's down to you how low you want to sink. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be, of course. But I want you to keep your feet and knees hip distance while you do it. If your knees tend to dive in or come out while you do it, good. You could always put a block right between your knees when you do it. But this is what the move is going to end up looking like. You walk yourself away, and you're going to use your legs to push into the wall. And that's it. We're going to hang out here for 1 minute. You guys feel like pros. We're going to do it for 2 minutes. So you look cute. I love it. But I want you to do a little bit more work. So you're going to stay there. Keep your knees in line with each other because this is kind of what you did. Pause. See how far back your heels are? I want you to walk them away from your body until they're past your knees. That's the other key for this, guys. When you do this move, you want your knees to be behind your heels. So I don't want you to be here. I want you to be here. You look good. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. You could even 2 minutes if you can stand it. You don't have to. If you can, you could even walk your feet further away. But yes, it is easier. Marie, you're looking dazzling. You feel okay?
Yeah.
You can go lower if you wanted to. Just saying. Yeah. Feel both thighs doing the work as you push yourself into the wall. That's what you want. Now take a look at your knees. Your knees have a tendency to go wider. Yes. Use your muscles to hold them there and keep your feet straight ahead. Hang out for 30 more seconds. You okay, Carol?
Yeah.
It's toughy. Try not to use your hands. It's legs only. Does everybody feel your lower back in the wall? Push it in there. Pretend my hand is back there. I want you to smash it. 10 more seconds. Hang out with me. Smash my hand in the wall using your lower back, but it's your legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on out. Right? Does everybody feel both sides doing that work?
My leg was gonna start shaking.
Good. Yeah, that's not it. You can see why I hate that move.
But that's a good thing, because I know my body's doing something when I feel.
Yes. If you guys wanted to step down, you may. I will cover and switch.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Really. I've already signed the press release.
Oh, press release. Yes. All right, everybody. Okay. So usually I end a couple minutes earlier at home because they have a class right after this, but here we've got another 5 or 6 minutes. So there's more crud that we can do. If everybody wants to do something, we can. It's down to you. So what I was going to do is just give you seated knee pillow squeezes while we chat, and you guys can give me questions if you have any. Oh,
I just have a comment.
please.
In person is great. It really is.
I know.
See, that's
Wait till
why-
we do downward facing dog and all the step unders and all, the things where you might require a little bit of hands-on help to get those muscles turned on. Gosh, I wish I had me more often. So remember, when we do seated knee pillow squeezes, everybody, we want to sit in that pelvic extension. So that means you're sitting with the arch up to your lower back. Roll it in, squeeze, release. Where should you be feeling this? Mhm. Separate your feet wider. Now take a look down at your feet and make sure, are your heels underneath your knees or are they behind your knees?
Behind me.
Right, so put them right underneath, 90 degrees. Sit in pelvic extension, keep on working it. We should be feeling this right in the groin, right? That's what we were doing before. Does it get there quicker for you or do we have to still? Hard to say. Groin is there. Groin is there. Better than glute. I've had some people go, yeah, I feel it here or I feel it here. Good, good, fair enough. So she's feeling it in her thigh. Fair enough. Anybody have any other questions? Anything that you definitely want to see for next time? Harder stuff, easier stuff, more stuff, less talking. This is hard to do, I'll tell you. Going between this and what I see out here. It's hard to do. Driving me nuts. I want you to make me walk straight, she said. Okay, I got to bring in the whip. Okay, there will be blood.
That's okay.
Okay, she wants blood.
That's okay, listen, because I just saw my
All right,
great
guys.
aunt's pictures, and she's got this hump. She didn't have that when she was younger.
Mm.
I have tendency to flap.
To slouch, yeah.
And I
gotcha.
don't want to be like that when I'm standing.
Understood, understood. So we're just talking about people's photographs as they get older and the
Yeah.
position that their body ends up getting into and how it doesn't look as pleasing as you'd like it to be. And there's a reason for that.
I said 70 isn't that far away.
70 isn't that far away. So something.
I didn't expect her. I hadn't seen her in years.
All right, guys. So for those of you guys at home, I'm going to let you guys go because it's time, but everybody else, we're going to sit here and we're going to keep yakking and talking. So if you guys want to talk with me and be with me, come here. It's way better. See you soon. Bye.